Hello everyone, my name is Marcela Rosas, and I decided to do my band presentation on KISS. Let's start with the history. The history of KISS starts us off during the year 1970s in New York City by Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, before Peter Criss, even Ace Frehley arrived the idea of the iconic logo when Ace drew a paper of the German Nazi symbol on a piece of graph paper. Later on, during the 1973, they decided to perform live at a local club named Popcorn in Queens, New York, in the corner. Without their iconic makeup, the four were known today were just glam rock clothing, as you can see in the picture down below. The genre of music. The alternator band KISS was formed of a mixture of glam rock, heavy metal shock rock. This can also be explained by the albums that are not considered lost media, which were started by each band member as a solo career in case one of them left. Prime examples are Dolls by Ace Frehley, Nightmare by Eric Carr, Unholy by Gene Simmons. Did you know that Unholy by Gene Simmons was released in the 1990s to the 1970s, but sadly was considered lost media because they did not consider having a music video until 2009, which you can see on YouTube on their platform. The KISS band fan club grew over the expansion of the 1970s till now. Two examples I'll go through, which in the mid-90s was the release of the Hello Kitty collab in order to mark new audiences, was an official fan club which will be given to anybody that will pay a hefty fee of the box merch, which included autographs, etc. But then, in 1990, the band started having problems behind the scenes with their own drummer, Peter Criss, being the use of addiction and angry outbursts during mid-tour, as well as financial problems. Money and replacements of how many times. As being as successful as they were, playing huge arenas and clubs, there was a particular year where they started playing, but also noticed that their behind the music was struggle with the IRS, as well as the government targeting old and new members that were making $500 or more, such as Ace Frehley, more which left the ring to pay back everything owned by the government, which meant the four had to hustle as bartenders, taxi drivers, office assistants, and makeup sandwich makers. Peter Criss left the band in 1980 due to usage and anger issues, particularly in the payment of being $50,000. Eric Carr took his place in 1980 up until his death in 1991 on November 24th. For a rare type of heart cancer, his last performance was the music video God Gave Rock and Roll to You from the film of Disney, Bill and Ted Bogus Journey. Tommy took the final place as the KISS drummers until the final performance of the tour of November 2nd, 2003, as the Farewell Tour known in America. What was the downfall? The downfall was the band's many flaws throughout the years, but the downfall was really the replacements of the members, especially Tommy taking a part of Eric Carr's cancer that there were also raids about his creativity that weren't good enough for the main band. There's also a series for the band, which was supposed to be targeted to audiences, but they sadly refused. Lastly, an argument of the song that everyone knows, "I Was Made for Loving You," was against the community of rock and roll since it was depicted as a portrayal of rock artists in the era when it was released. The song "I Was Made for Loving You" was written by Paul Stanley, known as to many as the Star Child. According to sources of the storyline, it was made for two people being destined to love each other and passionate and to most intimate as they were created for one another. In conclusion, as so far Kiss brought so much entertainment over the years, both old and new, the making of their history, winning music Grammys, fan clubs, etc. Their last showing was LA as a farewell tour in December of 2023. Thank you.